Is destiny tapping Arsenal on the shoulder? Is this going to be their year?
Zubimendi! Over the top of Donnarumma! And it's a header by Gabriel! Might break for Eza! Brilliant from Eza!
Here's Eza in again. This could be the hat-trick. It's Ebe Eze's day. In this sort of mood, will they ever get a better chance than this to Mikel Arteta?
Villa Park is a fortress. They've won 8 in a row here.
Onana to unleash! Rodgers! Camera who decides to shoot and score!
Okay, let's talk about the Arsenal, the league leaders, but in a little bit of trouble. We've talked about their squad depth. Even that's been tested this season. Another centre-back down in the game against Brentford. And Julian Timber had to come in and fill in.
Yeah, the only light at the end of the tunnel is I think Saliba's quite close. Might have to speed him up a little bit. But Timber, I mean, he can play anywhere, the guy. He's unbelievable. If you look at the Arsenal game against Brentford, you know, he left Timber and Saka out, which is arguably the best right-side pairing in Europe, or one of. Brings in Ben White and Madueke, and they absolutely destroyed Brentford in the first half. This is as good a squad as Arsenal have had, if not ever, in terms of 22 players, 23 players. So I don't see it being a problem. The only small caveat to that would probably be Declan. Yeah. We're yet to see Arsenal lose him for a prolonged period. The odd game he has a rest. But if they were to lose him for a few weeks, is there anyone who can do what he does with that same physicality? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I could talk about Declan Rice for the next 5 years. I think he's unbelievable. What a player. And I think he epitomises everything a footballer should be. And I do agree. You know, if he's not available, it's an interesting one. The fact they went up against Chelsea, though, with Mosquera and Capio as well, without Gabriel and Saliba, shows you maybe Arsenal have turned the corner this season.
Yeah, but then Mosquera also was out. And then I thought Ben White would go in at that centre-back role, but they brought Timber in there. I wasn't sure how confident you'd be with the Timber against this Aston Villa team in the way.
If you ask any Arsenal fan the way they feel about Timber, I mean, it was unfortunate that he got injured as soon as he got to Arsenal, but he can play in a back three, can play in a back five. Lewis Skelly is not getting a look in this year, which is quite surprising, but Calafiori has been unbelievable. So I do think Arsenal seem to have turned the corner, but again, they're 5 points clear, and I think there's this bit of like still shakiness, isn't there, whether people are reluctant to say they can win the league because the last 2 seasons they've come so close, and at the end of the season fell by the wayside.
So what do you do then if Declan Rice is out for this game because it's a calf problem? Do you move Merino into midfield and then lose that number 9 threat that he poses?
Well, you don't lose the threat because you'd expect Gyökeres to come in and be a threat. But Moreno is a different type of player than Declan. They're both good technicians, but Moreno's not got the athleticism Rice has got. He's not slow, don't get me wrong. But there could be an opportunity for Norgard. People forget he's even at Arsenal because he hasn't been used that much. This is the captain of Brentford. I saw him 4 or 5 times live last season, and he's an outstanding player, by the way. He's not as athletic as Declan, but he's a leader, he can play, he's good on his defensive duty. They've got options. The problem is, Declan at the moment is one of the best midfielders in Europe, so you're not going to get someone who has all his attributes. You just get someone in who does different things. So if you've got Zubimendi, maybe Odegaard and Moreno, that's still a nice three to... And you're thinking when you see him on the team sheet, oof, you know, because Moreno's going to get in the box, he's going to help Gyökeres, Martinelli can hurt you, Eze, whoever it is. It's still an outstanding 11.
Yeah, Mikel Merino was involved in both goals in the victory over Brentford, and Mikel Arteta discussed the possibility of deploying Merino as a permanent striker going forward.
Well, I think he has earned at least the thinking behind it for the way he's performing and the impact that he's bringing to the team. So that's a yes.
You said yes there, but does it make you feel that he could excel even further there? We've seen it with Kai Havertz, who when he joined wasn't a traditional number 9, but has grown into the position.
Yeah, and then playing together, those two, even with Victor, or it can be with Gavi, and that's things that we have prepared during the summer because of the squad that we have, and so far we haven't been able to do.
Yeah, Mikel Merino that Arsenal have been looking for. 9 Premier League goals in 2025 for Arsenal, 21 for club and country. Is that instinct? Is that taught? Is that practiced?
I think it's a combination of the two. It's a natural instinct, and fair play to him because he's not a natural number 9, but he doesn't not look. He looks like a natural number 9. He reminds me of Olivier Giroud, who is a natural number 9, and he's positioning. You know, this type of movement he has here to stay central. Like, how many number 9s do we have in the world now that actually stay central? A lot of them drop deep. That's why I think Moreno can play with Gyökeres, because Gyökeres is that type of player that will drop deep. It's an unbelievable ball from Ben White, and the service from Arsenal is incredible as well. But Moreno, what a signing he's been, what a player. And he starts for Spain, even before he got to Arsenal. That just about speaks true to how good he is.
It's funny how some players are more appreciated on the eye to the fan because they're so dynamic in terms of speed or skill. And he's just an intelligent footballer, does everything quite well, brilliant in the air. But if you look at the stats there, I mean, what are you? If you're an attacking midfielder, you're judged on goals and assists. I know he's played as a false nine, but he keeps making an impact in the games. And maybe, I don't know, Arsenal fans might tell me different, but I think he's I'd say undervalued or underrated by them. I think if they were picking their best 11, generally they wouldn't have him in it.
Yeah, that is true, especially given that midfield and the quality there is now.
But if you're picking, right now, if I'm picking between Moreno and Gyökeres in the 9, I'm picking Moreno.
Same.
Yeah.
All day long, which is crazy because Gyökeres came on the other night. He got 9 minutes or so. And he doesn't look, again, it's similar to Ollie Watkins, a player that doesn't look like, takes a little bit of a time to adjust to the Premier League, but he doesn't look like he's confident, you know, and you've got Moreno going in that's not even a number 9, and he's doing amazingly well.
I've wondered about this. Would they, as a player, right, if this was you right now, would you be saying, okay, boss, I'll play anywhere, even though that's not really your area of expertise, that's not really where you play for your national team? Would you just end up doing that? Would you try and switch?
Yeah, you play anywhere the manager wants to put you. You know what position you prefer. I mean, Moreno is very good on the ball. His footwork is incredible. And when you watch him live, he gets out of situations. As much as he's not really, really quick, he thinks quick. Yeah. And there's a difference.
I'd play anywhere. I mean, it depends how good you are. I mean, if you're Haaland and you get asked to play on the wing, you're saying, hold on.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But it depends. If you're a player who wants to be at a big club winning trophies and you're adaptable and versatile, it's beneficial for you to have that open-mindedness because you'll play more.
Yeah, let's just look at their fixtures coming up now. Of course, we know there is that big trip at lunchtime to Villa Park, and then in the Champions League as well, they turn attention. They've got Wolves, Everton, Palace, Brighton, Aston Villa again, Bournemouth and Liverpool all to come in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I guess, is this the period where the title challenges and the also-rans are kind of separated? Is this a crucial period for them?
Yeah, I think so, just to cement your position. I actually think, looking at those fixtures, a lot of the big games near the end of that run come at home where they're outstanding. This game on Saturday is arguably their toughest one out of that run. If they can get through this one, they'll look at those fixtures. I mean, we've seen what they did to Munich at home. To go to Arsenal and get anything is going to be tough for anyone. I don't care how well you're playing. That game Saturday, if they were to win that, I think they'll look at the rest of that and think we're going to be in a great position.
Yeah, it's a psychological edge as well, because the last 2 seasons they've fallen off at the end and everybody's expecting them to do that. It's games like Brentford that I think if this was last season, they might not have won that game like Brentford, have been able to rest those players and still get the result.
Yeah, true.
So the fact they're able to do it, I agree with Danny. You know, the Villa games are massive, especially away. Like that will start, then we'll see what Arsenal are about, the psychological side and the mentality.
Battle back from being 2 goals down, that start of that game to where they ended up on the winning side is very much how the season's gone for them. You know, struggled at the start and now on this winning run. As we look at their results now, we can show them to you.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a hangover at the end of last season, missing out on the Champions League so slightly. They lost Asensio and Rashford as well in terms of firepower. Duran had left earlier in that season. So maybe it took them a little bit longer to get going. But I agree with Leanne. I mean, Unai Emery's coaching is amazing, to think of where he's brought them to from when he came in. And if you look at the players, I mean, this is a great run of form at any level of football. But if you look at the players they've got, I can't really think of one that hasn't improved under him. You know, he's tweaked positions with some of them as well, but he's got a set way of playing. And actually, when you watch Villa a lot, they play out from the back through the lines as well as anybody. They're very brave with their football. And it was no surprise to me that they've, you know, he's got them winning again. But they are playing really well. And actually now, really, you could argue are involved in the game of the weekend, I think.
Be interesting to see if Emi Martinez is available, because obviously I think that's why they're a little bit shaky. They conceded the 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Bizot, I like him a lot. He plays a lot for them in Europe. But, like, they didn't seem like their normal self in the first 20, did they? And then they kind of came into their own in the second half.
Yeah, you said they were involved in the game of the weekend. Are they involved in the title race, though? That's the question.
No. I think on the day they can beat anybody, and I think they'll give Arsenal a really tough game, but I don't think they've got the strength and depth. They are in Europe. They haven't got as big a squad as Emery would like. He's talked about that before, but they're certainly capable of getting in the top 4. I mean, I tipped them, I think, actually, get this right, the beginning before the season to get in the top 4, so that's going all right. Forget the Liverpool tip. We'll get there. Leave that one. But yeah, I think to win the title, you need real strength in depth. And if they were to have, you know, Watkins, if he wasn't playing, I think Anana's a big player for them. When you think of conscious influence, the spine really, and even the goalkeeper, I just don't see the same strength and depth you've got at City, you've got at Arsenal.
Yeah, you both have mentioned Watkins. Let's talk about him. 2 goals in midweek, ending an 11-game goal drought.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there myself. When you're a centre-forward not scoring goals, and, you know, Ollie Watkins...
long you'd probably get dropped, but he doesn't because he knows how important he is for the other players. Ironically, in the game at the weekend, his first couple of chances, one he scoffed and one he didn't quite get hold of properly, and you could see exactly what you said, that lack of confidence. When he got the goal...
I mean, he's finally, you know, first few games of the season, there were times fans were getting really frustrated with him at Villa Park, but the weight of pass that Morgan Rogers has and the telepathy that him and Ollie Watkins have, I think, can really help.
Do you think it's helped him as well being... I know we might not be first choice for England depending on Jude and all those things, but being away with England and getting the plaudits he did and having those good performances, I think that's probably helped him, don't you?
It has, and he's played through that. I mean, Thomas Tuchel has helped him to prove what Danny said, because he wasn't playing great. Last year, he had one good season in the Premier League, getting Young Player of the Year, PFA Young Player, and he was fantastic. And sometimes it takes a little while. Everyone goes through a bad run of form. He just had a few bad games, and everyone was kind of on his back because the spotlight was on him a little bit more. But I do
young
think...
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing with him, just quickly as well, is that number 10s generally we think of technically, and he is very good technically, but he is powerful. When he gets going, he's strong and he's athletic as well as the technical. And when you've got that mixture of both, that's why he's pushing Jude for the number 10 spot.
Yeah, and obviously that World Cup is a big carrot, like all players looking at it. The draw is happening as we speak, and so big motivator for all players around the Premier League and the world, of course. Well, Unai Emery described the meeting with Arsenal as a huge test for his team.
How we are now after our progress, tomorrow is a really huge test. Huge test collectively, huge test individually. And for me as a coach as well, I am delighted to have this opportunity to play tomorrow against Arsenal, and with the level they have and with the level we achieved as well the last month.
Okay, well, this month sees Mikel Arteta celebrate 6 years in charge at Arsenal. So I sat down with the Arsenal boss to reflect on what he's achieved so far. Mikel, lovely to see you, as always. I wanted to kind of take a trip down memory lane today because it's quite an important month. It's 6 years this month that you were appointed Arsenal manager. And I guess I just wanted to go through those memories with you. What was that first phone call like with the club when you knew this was a reality?
The first phone call was with Edu, and he called me probably just to test the water and see, okay, how does it feel? It was the connection and was the possibility to bring Mikel back to the club. And straight away, I think we talked for an hour and 15 minutes about a lot of topics, not much about tactics or the team, but more about what was happening at the club and the idea and the will that we both had to bring the club back to the highest level. And from there, everything happened very, very quickly in the next few days, and suddenly I was here.
Suddenly you were here. I mean, a lot of people remember those moments. You know, I still remember I was, sat in that car when I got my driver's license or something like that. But where were you where you got that phone call that this is it, it's done, come in, sign the papers?
It was, I think, when we all got together. At the moment, it was Edu, it was Vina, it was Raul, and it was Josh. And then I got a feeling that this is happening. There's no way back from here. And they're not gonna let me change my mind. And I was, so convinced that it was the right thing to do, and I had to take it. It was obviously as well a huge risk because I never managed anybody in my life. I just was assistant coach for Man City and in the coaching staff of Pep. And suddenly you have to become the manager as a football club, and a lot of question marks with that.
Yeah, I bet. And that first press conference that you do, I mean, when you look back on it now, are you like, oh my God, I was a baby at that point? I mean, and what were your memories of it? Were you nervous going into it?
I don't think so. I think I was so on it. I was so enthusiastic. I think it's something that I wanted so much, and I had the opportunity to deliver that, and it was so much to do that it was just a massive ball of energy, will, and determination.
So 6 years in charge of Mikel Arteta. I thought it was so fascinating there. I was so surprised when I asked him about that first day as manager, going in there, you know, do you want it to feel nice? And he goes, no, I wanted it to feel as awkward as possible. I mean, what was it like for you guys? I mean, you must have, you know, had so many times where a manager comes in first day. What were some of your memories?
Yeah, probably got a few too many managers sacked, or revolving door.
He gets them out. That's what he's saying. He's got them out.
But then a new manager comes in. I've probably experienced different kind of managers. There was Harry Redknapp, who we had 2 points from 8 games under Juan de Ramos, and Ramos gets sacked and he comes in and he tries to get a little bit of belief, confidence back. Yeah. And that's what Harry did. We're in a false position, but as players we were well underachieving. We were performing to the levels that we could. I mean, we had Bale, Modric, we had some incredible players. We'd lost a few players in the summer, and then you look on the flip side where end of the season a manager goes and Andre Villas-Boas came in and he said he wanted to make a stance there, Mikel Arteta, and make it as horrible as he can. Andre Villas-Boas came in and he set the tone. He put his markers down and went, right, it's going to be done my way or the highway. Try to get a few players out. And it was challenging, completely different, but there's different ways about going and getting your best players, getting the best out of the players, for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I was at that time, you know, like Vialli left Chelsea, and then Ranieri came in. And Ranieri comes in and had a conversation with the group and everything. So I think, we train that week. Yeah. And the weekend comes, you're not part of the team. So you're like, okay, you're not part. You know how that feels, right? When you're not part of it, you think like, oh, okay. So then during the week it comes on. They said the reserves are playing, and I'm playing with the reserves, and that is like, wow. You know, like you're like, wow, okay, this is interesting. So, but then when you start the game, you say to yourself, I'm going to prove you wrong. Yeah. Fortunate, thank God. I score a goal, and next time I'm back in the first team.
That's the way to do it, Mario. Nice.
But I was just fortunate because in the beginning, when he did that, when he put you on the bench, and first you're not even part of the bench, then you're not even part of the team, and then, you think, then you go in the reserves, and you come in, and all the guys in the reserves are looking at you, and it's a first team player.
Yeah.
But you know, there's different ways to look at it like that.
Yeah.
Mario went and proved him wrong. Some people can down tools, can sulk, can feel sorry for yourselves. New managers come in thinking, what do you mean I'm a big player? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're in the reserves.
You bet that's it, but you got to work harder, and it brings that best side out of you, I guess. Just quickly on Arsenal. I mean, looking at them now and some of the games that they've already had, there was a lot of talk about their fixtures when they first started. But now you look at it, the places they've played already. They've already done Old Trafford, they've done Anfield, they've done St James's Park, they've done Stamford Bridge. They're about to do Villa Park as well. And they're in pretty good stead. I mean, how much of a difference, you know, Dorst, does that make to a side knowing you've got those games out of the way?
Well, we'll see after Christmas, won't we, when the games come up. I mean, they've got Villa in a short space of time coming up. Big one tomorrow against Aston Villa, the informed team. But they're going away from home, and you have to get over these challenges. You've got to perform. Whether Saliba will be back is a big one for me. I think missing Saliba and Gabriel, and we can all talk about Declan Rice, we can all talk about the players in the attacking from a defensive point of side. Yeah. It can be huge, but that looks good. I mean, going away to Anfield and the free kick from Szoboszlai was incredible. There wasn't a lot in the game. Yeah. So I think Mikel will take an awful lot of positives out of that, having been away to some tough places.
Yeah, you say obviously the influence of Gabriel not being there as well is so huge, but there was also so many people talking about, you know, Arsenal corner FC, that was it. And then you see it now, and you actually see the difference in open play goals. We've got this here. So as you can see, the matches that they played with Gabriel, they scored 7 goals. Without Gabriel, they scored nothing. Oh. But actually, from open play, it's the opposite. So we've got, in the last 3 games, they've scored 7 goals from open play, whereas with 11 with Gabriel, they played 8. So is that showing, Mario? Do you think that the manager's conscious of it and going, right, we're going to have to switch how we get our goals?
Yeah, of course. But I don't think, because the way Arteta is and was as a player, that's the same how he's managing his team. So he wanted to be creative and try to find nuance in the game. That's why they came up with this stats. But away from that, I'm sure that he wants to score the goals in the possible way how he can do that. And if you look at we're talking about the defenders. I looked at the number, I saw it today, and it was 164 times those guys played together, Gabriel and Saliba. This is like one of the first times, last season, Southampton they missed, was the last game of the season, but they always together. So when you miss that, it's a big miss for him. So that's why now we're highlighting the stats of the goal scoring. Yes, of course, and I saw it, you know, how they play and everything, but it's very, very important for them to just stay focused and keep driving.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we start with team news? First of all, Declan Rice seemed positive at the end of the game. Is he available?
Well, let's see. I think with all the questions I'm going to get, the answer unfortunately is going to be the same. We have another training session in the afternoon. Every hour is going to be very important to see the availability of the players. So after that, we'll decide who travels.
Do you think Mosquera has a chance? Or?
That's the one that is more complicated. But again, we had another test today to see where we are with him.
Earlier on this week, you said a matter of days for the likes of Leandro Trossard and William Saliba.
Yeah.
Are you hopeful that they can play a part tomorrow?
Yeah, it is a matter of days with those two, for sure, yeah.
Okay, any other issues you can tell us about?
No, hopefully no more. So, all good.
Can I just ask you and follow up on something you mentioned the other night? You spoke about the fixture schedule. It's 63 hours, less than 63 hours between the time you left the pitch against Brentford and the time you're going to take to the pitch. Is the football calendar more generally getting a bit out of hand, and do you feel that the product at some point is going to suffer?
I don't know. I don't think we have to get to that stage. But the only thing I said is whenever it's possible to help and give the players an extra day or hours to fulfill the maximum potential, let's do it. That's it. We are ready. We are ready from today for tomorrow's game. That's for sure.
Just on this is the second weekend in a row where it's actually third against first in the Premier League. With regard to Aston Villa, just at this moment in time, would you say that is there a tougher test in the Premier League just now?
Well, for what they've been doing, the way they've been playing and winning matches, certainly is a team that it's in great form, and we know that. We know obviously the manager and the incredible job that he's done there as well. So we know the task tomorrow, but we always take it as an opportunity.
You mentioned the manager and the incredible job you say he's done. Is there extra motivation for him because he managed here and maybe it didn't work out as he would have liked? And does that make this game even harder?
I don't know. I think when you look at Unai, his career and his motivation level everywhere that he's been and the impact that he's done, it's always been remarkable. So I don't know. That's a question for him. But in my opinion, he never needs anything extra. I think he's got enough on himself.
I think the last 3 weeks on a Friday, we've been asking you whether the following week is going to be a statement week. Is it? How important is it? Well, we're here again, but given it is a team like Aston Villa and a team that you may have had a few problems against in the past few seasons, if a victory was to be achieved tomorrow, what kind of statement and message do you think that would send?
That's consistency, again, to perform at the highest level and win another game. And then we will go back to the same question 3 days later in the Champions League and then at the weekend, because that's the nature of the game. And that's exactly how we have to take it every game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
Talking about making a statement, of course you played first this weekend before the likes of Manchester City play. If you were to win, what do you think it does for the pressure on your side of rivals?
I don't know. Every time you win a game, obviously, you are a little bit closer to your objective, and it's the only thing that we can do. We have to focus on performing, preparing really well for tomorrow. We know the kind of game that we're going to play, and be ready for it to fulfill our potential.
Just going back to Christian Mosquera, what's the nature of his injury?
An ankle. Yeah.
Last weekend we saw you take Ricardo Calafiori off against Chelsea because he was on a yellow card. I know he's got 4 yellows. Is that something that plays into your mind when you're looking at the starting lineup, or is that more of an issue when the game starts?
Both, but and especially the other day against Brentford, and especially with the situation that we had at the end of the game with the backline and the numbers that we have there. But it didn't happen, so good news.
And just finally for me, talking about your backline, and of course I know you've had a couple of defensive injuries. Ollie Watkins has scored 3 Premier League goals this season, but 2 of them, of course, came against Brighton. Unai Emery said that the goals are coming for him. So what kind of a challenge does he pose to your defensive lineup tomorrow?
Yeah, I think the collective threat that they have in terms of how they generate chances and what they do so well, and then obviously the individual quality that they have in front from different players.
Yeah, talk.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
I saw Aston Villa win at Brighton this week, and I asked Unai Emery whether his team were title challengers to you, and he said, no, you're the favourites to win the Premier League. Are managers already playing mind games with you?
I don't know. I think each manager gives his opinion, and that's it, and we have to respect that, and that's it.
Do you see Aston Villa as being a title challenger?
Well, if they continue, look where they are already. So if they continue what they've been doing, I think any club, any team in that position has chances for sure.
Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta walked into today's press conference looking like a man caught between pride and panic. His team sits top of the table, playing some of the best football in England, but the injury list is growing like a weed. The biggest question on everyone's mind? Declan Rice. Arteta didn't hide the uncertainty. Rice is desperate to play, but his calf problem means the medical team will decide hour by hour. It's the kind of gamble title-challenging teams never want to make. Risk your midfield engine or risk losing points? Add to that, Christian Mosquera's ankle injury has complicated things further, and several others remain sidelined. Arteta's frustration spilled over when he spoke about the schedule. The games are coming so fast that players barely recover before being thrown back into battle. Players are not machines, he reminded, a subtle rebuke to football's relentless calendar. Yet despite the chaos, there's no defeatism. Arteta praised the squad's mentality and demanded they embrace the challenge. With Aston Villa waiting, energetic, fearless, and dangerous at home, Arsenal need resilience as much as tactics. The message from the boss? The situation is messy, but champions don't complain. They find a way to win.